I played Wuthering Wave for a very long time, but I have never tried Punishing Grey Raven. So I decided to try Punishing Grey Raven for more than 1 month with two rules. First, FTP only, and two, I am not allowed to do any internet search until I get stuck on an endgame content, just so I can largely jump into the game completely blind. A reason why I want to try this game is because I want to see how Kuro handles power creep in a 6 years old game. I also would like to know what are the odds for 5-star Yang Yang in Wuthering Wave, and how PGR handles its endgame design, and also who in the world is Nanami. For a Wuthering Wave player, it is interesting to see many designs and ideas get from PGR is used to create Wuthering Wave, such as similar character designs, similar playstyles, similar depressions, and many more. Now, if you are a person who just want a quick answer to decide whether PGR is worth playing, here is my results. Feel free to pause the video and have a good day. And for those who want to see my adventure to know the reason why I came up with these conclusions, please enjoy. I still don't know why my left mouse button is not working, but my right mouse is working though, I can dodge. I don't really want to press J for my basic attack button, that's really far away. My hand's gonna be busy. Is that all you have? My goodness.
剑中的火焰会烧尽一切障碍。不要紧，不会手软的。剑中的火焰。
Only first day, I didn't know the game is novel based. I should have known that the game is really old, but Wuthering Wave has definitely ruined me when it comes to reading stories. The problem is, it does shatter my expectation hearing rumors that PGR has better story than Wuthering Wave. Because, despite better stories, you cannot compare PowerPoint to animations that requires way more effort and budget management, which limits storytelling. Another issue that I encounter is that some character model is very outdated and not even updated, which makes me very uncertain on continuing this old game. On the second day, I nearly dropped the game, but then I encountered one character that stops me from dropping the game. And surprisingly, that character was Nanami. I was surprised because I did not expect to meet Nanami super early, and she is one of the trio free starter character. I was very curious to know who prototype Ameth is, and ladies and gentlemen, this is Nanami here. The PGR community is blind. This was the moment when I was very confused and realized something doesn't add up. Until I see this page realize that many characters have incredible upgraded version, even transforming from 4-star characters to 5-star characters, or even beyond that. This massively changes my mind. I decided to not drop this game and change my objective to see how Punishing Grey Raven slowly improves. And as the journey continues, their improvement exceed my expectation.
Why are you gay?
I'm pretty sure we can agree or follow Kuro's recommendation, and I decided to choose the 5-star Yang Yang since I also really want to try her. So far in the beginning, the story revolve around her, and I think it's pretty interesting also. And luckily, even though we do not know the meta, she has Twin Tail, and we kind of know like Kuro has a tendency simping for Twin Tails. PGR has the best standard banner. it has a chance to get any 5-star character that is more than 2 patches old, and you can choose to guarantee a character once per year. Also, Standard Banner can guarantee the 4-star character that you choose. Since this game is born before Genshin, the system of 50-50 doesn't exist, but so is PT system. So when a new character came in, you're expected to get it at 60 pulls every time, which one pull requires 250 asteroids. The weapon banner is permanent for all characters and guaranteed at 30 pulls. Any rest, like pets and these banner, just ignore it, which FTP players don't need them. The game's gacha system looks incredibly generous. However, there's definitely some issues. Earning asteroids in Punishing Grey Raven is far from the amounts as Wuthering Wave. For reference, since I have created Wuthering Wave new accounts frequently, within a 1-month-old new accounts in Wuthering Wave, you can get 770 pulls. And in 1-month-old Genshin accounts, you can get 510 pulls, which was experimented 2 years ago. But a 1-month-old Punishing Grey Raven accounts, you can only get 260 pulls. So unlike other gacha games, PGR's new player experience rarely experienced the thrill of pulling. I also fall into victim averse didn't see how this game was generous when I am not making any pulls. But the game is actually super generous, because you nearly don't need to pull to get characters. When the account reached nearly 2 months old, I have received 13 5-star characters and 7 6-star weapons and 2 5-star pets. The problem is, the game has the worst UI and a number of confusing currencies, which it massively hides the number of characters that you can obtain for free or a number of 5-star characters that you can farm for, a little like Do It Night Abyss.
Wait, I'm married? I mean, we are married to Yang Yang? How? Which chapter? Did I skip it? What chapter is it? Like, when were we married? I didn't know.
Because
I mean, it's a good thing, but it's like a sudden jump scare to me right now. Like imagine a person suddenly comes to you and say you're the father. Whoa. I like this idea, but just make sure we treat our one and only wife like a real wife, and act with the other girl like normally. We are now cheating on Yang Yang now. Okay.
Whether you're
Shorekeeper? Okay.
Even though the story is in PowerPoints, the story is incredible, like reading History of 3 Kingdoms with many depth, perspective, and a lot of actions. The game actually creates a path for new players to skip from chapter 1 straight to the dark chapter 9, but the early chapter is still very enjoyable for me, but definitely not the same level as middle section of the story. Also, the interlude stories are also absolutely incredible. There are definitely some problems with the story, which the biggest problem is that later stories can contain quite a lot of word, which some chapters do cost me 3 days to read. But the long stories are definitely worth it, and you can see the reason why it is called Punishing Wife. And another problem is that I feel like the newest 3 or 4 latest story or side story are becoming Gathering Wife, as it lost its original spark that character actions are making sense in a war setting. But there will definitely have more good story, as currently a certain doom is still foreshadowed to come in the future. From what I see, Powercreep has affected PGR in 3 areas. First, new character deals more damage and a lot of time pausing ultimate.
Very important to note that every character in PGR, except for like the very old units, they have like Forte, just like Wuthering Wave. For every character, just like for Lova, they require some conditions to be able to use ultimate. So this causes many PGR characters able to use ultimate like back to back, or like spam ultimate frequently.
Second, PGR's Candy Crush game, which is equivalent to Resonance Scale, has become easier to get 3 same color ball for maximum damage, and eventually no longer playing Candy Crush. Third, new characters have more iframes, which are essentially invisible most of the time and less likely need to dodge. Power creep in PGR has some good and bad. Good thing is, it actually makes the story very interesting, which we get to see old characters reappear frequently and even grow stronger. This area does make me support power creep in PGR because seeing character grow is always a joy. Besides, PGR pretty much gave characters for free, even new characters. The huge negative is, if you have a lot of characters well built, no matter the contents, all contents will feel like playing Tower of Adversity, where you only need to focus on the rotation and no longer need to counter or even know what mechanic each boss do, which is quite a waste of bosses actually. But you can always take the challenge to use only solo characters, which will suddenly turn the game into the same difficulty as hologram level 6 bosses in Wuthering Wave. As far as I know, there are 6 endgame content in PGR, and they are all very similar to Wuthering Wave. The ancestor of Whimpering Waves and TOA is very easy to get the full rewards clear, but there's an extra rewards for climbing into the player ranking, which both are for heavily time invested players and whales that strictly follow the meta. The ancestor of Double Pwn Matrix also has a very ruthless Vigor system and requires Union level 120, but with a much more generous well-built trial characters than Wuthering Wave. The rest of PGR's 3 endgame content are similar to doing hologram bosses in Wuthering Wave. However, since character in PGR can iframe like most of the fights, bosses are given insane buff and debuff to characters, such as reflecting damage, complete invulnerability unless you do certain actions. Even there's like HP will automatically drop and cannot heal. But it wasn't too hard most of the time, since quite a number of characters given for free are already super strong. For reference, I was able to clear all stronghold level at day 25 with Union level 79, with 4 characters that are around 70% built. PGR is good for people who like stories, likes loads of combat content, good for F2P, likes to own a lot of skins, likes easy game, and somehow their mini game all feels very fun. But the game isn't recommended if you hate reading and people who want hologram style challenges that can appreciate and learn to counter boss mechanic. I also find there are 2 things that all Wuthering Wave player really need to know. First, the reason why PGR is able to be super generous and give characters for free, largely it is because of their endgame content design having PvP. PGR is easy, but the only challenge is the player ranking system, as it requires players to get multiple duplicate copies of character in order for F2P players to be able to be on player ranking against whale players. So PGR needed to be super generous so F2P players can get maximum sequence or constellations, or have a full meta team early. While in Wuthering Wave, you don't need any sequence to clear all endgame and there is no PvP. Therefore, if Wuthering Wave reaches the same generosity as PGR like right now, their income money will get damaged further. Another thing that Wuthering Wave players should know is that I really think the dormitory system should be introduced to Wuthering Wave. It is the first game that I get to see toilets. And this is the reason why I made this video. Thank you all for watching and have a good day.
So here's my character build. We'll start with the evil 5-star Yang Yang. She's permanently free, alongside with this cat, and you will get the 2 of them like very early in the game. They're both a little old, but they're strong enough. The evil Yang Yang, she's the only one where I use my USB chip to enhance her weapon, because compared to others, her DPS is actually quite lagging behind when compared to like the really meta units. And sometimes I like to call her Miss Immortal because she had like so many iframes, like 90% of the time. The next one is the good meta Yang Yang. She came from the standard banner I use, my guarantee. She's quite new and broken. I want to skip her first because I have a lot to say about this character. Luna, I got her from the free character selection from Chinese New Year. Her story is definitely like far more interesting than this pink girl over here. And so that's why, later on I choose Luna. Where is... Now, my favorite character is Nanami. I choose her more than the meta Nanami. So, despite she's weak, but I do like her. She came from the this pack over here. Where can I find it? Oh, I think I lost it. Right here. Yeah, it's confusing, right? So like, yeah, she came from this pack. Unfortunately, I got her in the last one, which is kind of sucks. Yes, and then we also have the Lilith. She's also permanently free, a little bit hard to find. She's a dark support. Despite being a support, she deals like a lot of damage, surprisingly. And then we have Plume. She and also where is it? And also there's Nanami. They both came from a 5-star selected pack. However, this pack only contains old characters. But the two of them are decent enough and they can still work in some teams. Pretty helpful also. This character is my most luckiest character. After I used my guarantee from this Meta Yang, I got her in 30 pulls, and that pull will be random, so I got random to her, which I'm very glad because I didn't get random on a duplicate free character or like a very old character. Yeah, and see. This character, you get him immediately for free when you reach unit level like 52, but he's Yin Yang level, so no good. The last 3 character, we have this character, and Folova's ancestor, and also this character. They're all permanently free. Like we get this character, we get it from the Genshin teapot, the dormitory. There's also like another two meta characters over there that I haven't get yet. Folova's ancestor, we get it from a permanent combat event. And while this character are hidden in a shop, but it's totally free. Now, there is a thing that this game doesn't teach you, is that you can collect these 3 characters. You need to collect 50 shards instead. You collect those 50 shards and you create a character, which I actually didn't know that. So Teddy, this character over here, I pulled for her in her featured banner, and then I got her duplicate copy of her. So this character is the only character where it's like I have a duplicate copy. Even without a duplicate copy, she's like still like broken. She's an ice support, but she's like deals the most damage out of my team. And even like she isn't very well built compared to the other characters. So for reference, I tested it out in one of the stronghold with all those in the strongholds. Now, with the evil Yang Yang, with the same floor, I tested 3 of them. With the same floor, she took like 15 minutes. The good Meta Yang Yang took like 6 minutes. But man, this character took like 2 minutes. Broken indeed. So yes, there's a lot of free characters in this game, and the rest of the character, they're all 4-star character. I found for the Constellation daily. And there's this character. Yeah, this character, I got her skin for free by logging in. Also, like, I actually have a lot of pulls saved, and these pulls are saved for the evil Yang Yang. It's already leaked by Kuro that there will be a meta version of her, a newer version for her. And also, like, I'm also planning to use my golden ticket to get this one. I need 6 more, and then there'll be a character. And also, there's another permanent free character leaked by Kuro also, and yeah, this game gave out a lot of new characters.